5 seconds to the open.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The following program is based on speculation and conjecture.
Let's get sexual.
Oh, giggity.
Not like that. It's sex tips, prevention tips.
This is very maturely done. It's very helpful. It gives a lot of information
about who can contact if you need advice.
It's time for Afternoon Delight with Aimee Reece.
Hey guys, welcome back to Afternoon Delight on UCO's radio station. Today we're talking about foreplay, oral sex, and of course your sexual position of the week. I'm your host Aimee Reece, and this show is brought to you by, well, me, because I don't think sex is talked about nearly enough. So, and before we actually get started into the actual content, we're going to kind of set the mood here with a nice little, very sensual song, and I hope you guys like it. And just, you know, if you know, set some lights down a little bit, light some candles or whatever, just get yourself in the mood, because it's going to be a nice little conversation for the next hour. All right, we're back with Afternoon Delight on U Central Radio, and I'm your host, Aimee Reece, and I hope you guys are ready to talk about some foreplay because, well, that's what we're going to talk about. Before we get to our special guest today, and before we get to any of the students and what they think about it, WebMD has some more of like a medical reason, I guess, for why foreplay is so great and why it's needed before you actually have sex. Dr. Ruth Westheimer is quoted as saying, "It's particularly important for women to have successful foreplay because it takes a woman longer time than a man to get to the level of arousal needed to orgasm." You know, it just kind of, if it's not, you know, ready to go, then just bad things are going to start happening, and it's just not going to be fun. It's not going to be a good time for either person in this situation, and it's just not going to be a good time at all. I had a friend tell me about one time one of their friends went to go, you know, have sex with this girl, but her body was not ready, and it tore his foreskin. And I feel like that is just not something that needs to keep happening because it's just not fun. It sounds like it's horrible. And one more thing from the WebMD website about foreplay and the clitoris is the clitoris has the same characteristics as the penis. Blood flows into it, and in order for a woman to have an orgasm, there must be lubrication in the vagina, but also the clitoris must get erect. And I feel like that would definitely happen more with foreplay. It's really difficult for a woman to just go from nothing to full on ready to go. Whereas a man doesn't have that problem. They really kind of just kick it into high gear, I guess. Dr. Ruth's foreplay tip is don't be embarrassed to let your partner know where and how to pleasure you. The only shame is when it comes to foreplay is a missed opportunity for pleasure. And I feel like that's a really good one because I feel like some people just get embarrassed about it or don't really know how to express their feelings. And, you know, that's just, when you're having sex with somebody, it's an intimate relationship, and it doesn't matter if you're dating them or not, but, you know, you need to be able to express what you like, what you don't like, and, you know, be able to kind of lead the direction. The same thing for them. They should be able to tell you what they want from you. But I'm going to play another song, and until we come back from the song, you guys just need to keep it here because we're going to be talking with Portia Richardson, and we're going to talk about some more foreplay, and we're going to listen to what she has to say about that. So after this song. All right, we're back with some more foreplay talk for you. In the studio today, I have a special guest, Portia Richardson. I'll say your name right eventually, I guess, one of these days. Thanks for being here today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Ready to talk about this? It's going to be a good time.
Hi, guys.
All right, so now that we've talked a little bit about a medical reason why, you know, foreplay is good for getting things going before we actually have sex, we're going to talk with some students, and we're going to talk to Portia about, you know, why it's good for, you know, more of an emotional side of it, or, you know, relationship side. So we're just going to get right into it. And so, Portia.
Yes?
How do you feel about foreplay?
I think it's definitely fun, and I think it's definitely necessary for sex just because it makes the whole act of sex so much better, so much more fun, because by the time you're ready to act the act, like, you're already stimulated and your body and your mind is like ready to go. So I think it's definitely fun, and I think it's great for everyone, new couples, partners, and especially couples that have been together for a long time, just because, like, I know people, when they're in relationships for years and years, they say the sex gets so typical and they know what to expect. So with foreplay, it keeps the expected unexpected. Like, especially with the whole dress up thing, I advise dressing up and doing fun stuff for everyone, just because it always keeps your partner guessing. They never know what you're going to do next. And then it just keeps that connection strong, but at the same time, it keeps it a lot more interesting.
Right, definitely. And I know we had talked about role-playing a couple weeks ago on the show, and one of the biggest things I kept hearing was that, don't try to force anything. Would you definitely agree with that?
Definitely. Be natural. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be scared, but definitely don't overplay anything or do something that you feel uncomfortable doing. Just be yourself. Be natural. Have fun with it. Own your sexuality.
Definitely. I feel like that's a really great advice, especially, since sex just isn't talked about enough, and so things might get a little, weird, and it's kind of a taboo topic or whatever, but, the more you talk about it, the more easygoing it gets, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like people, they censor themselves so much just because they're afraid of public opinion of them, but just be you. I mean, you don't have to tell everything in graphic detail, but don't be scared to talk about sex, because like you said, sex isn't talked about enough, but it happens a lot. So I feel like people need to be more open with it, and if they have questions, don't be afraid to ask.
Exactly. I had went around yesterday and talked to some students and to see what they thought about foreplay and what, things that they like or don't like, or, how they feel about it. So we're going to listen to it real quick.
Okay, sounds good.
Without it, it's pretty much a waste of time. I think the guy should take his time, maybe stop, look at her, and then go slowly, inch by inch, and get her where she needs to be so he doesn't have to work overtime.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would say that it's not important, because it's awesome.
Protect yourself.
Well, I think that foreplay is extremely important, and I don't think that it's necessarily important for the guy, because guys get aroused so much more quickly than women. At the end of the day, just do what comes naturally to you. So if there's something that you don't feel comfortable with, then just don't do it. But if there's something that you've been fantasizing about for a while and it's something that you really want to do, just do it, because more than likely the person that you're with is going to want to do it too. So
I do believe it's necessary, because I feel like there should be a moment leading up to the fireworks show. At the fireworks show, they do a bunch of small fireworks, and there's the grand finale.
All right, well, I definitely agree with my good friend Brandy, who that was the last clip. The fireworks show, you have to just lead into it. You can't just be like, wham, bam, there, and you're like, oh, wait, hold up, I'm not ready for this. You need to have some time to get your mind ready, get your body ready, especially for women. But, just got to get into the right state of mind. And I had asked one of the girls from the newscast, her name is Meredith, and she said that it helps keep the relationship strong. Would you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that. I think because I know when you are in a relationship and you love somebody, love is strong, but guys are so much more easy. They're easier to get, their mind is easier to get sidetracked. So I think it definitely keeps it strong, because guys like the more fun aspect in the bedroom and of the relationship. So I definitely agree with her on that. I can see that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel ya. All right, well, we're going to be right back with some more foreplay talk. But until then, we're going to play another song or two, just kind of see how it goes. If you need to go get a snack or something, or get a drink or whatever, just go to that and then come right back and keep listening, and then we're going to go. All right, so we're back with some more foreplay, and I have a really lovely quote that I got from Kama Sutra, and I was reading through them, and I have a whole bunch of quotes in the book anyway, but I was reading through this one, and it really caught my eye, because I really feel like it just wholeheartedly explains what foreplay should be. It says, desire, affection, love create a lasting state of mind through which the boy and girl, stimulated by caresses and kisses, abandon themselves wholeheartedly to the act of love. And I really feel like that kind of just explains what foreplay should be. It should just be about each other, and just meeting on level grounds with that, emotional level of cloud or whatever, cloud 9, before you actually do something that's so intimate, because sex is really, really intimate, and it doesn't matter if you're dating somebody or if it's just a one-night stand or whatever, but it's an intimate act, no matter what. So you always just need to kind of have that I guess, emotional level. And maybe it's more for the girl than it is for the guy. I'm not really sure. I'm not a guy, so I don't really know how they think. But I know for a girl that you definitely need to have that emotional connection, even if it is just, you know, a hookup or whatnot. But, and I have heard from other guys that they like to have that level of playing field as well. So just to kind of go back into foreplay some more, Kama Sutra has a lot of really great tips and, you know, whatnot to kind of let you know what to do in case you're getting started in foreplay and you don't really know, like, how to get things going. A good friend of mine said yesterday that it doesn't have to just be all sexual, you know, it doesn't have to be like face-to-face sexual, like right before you have sex. It can be leading on all day. You know, you could do it, you know, over the phone. I guess it's called sexting. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, maybe, you know, you need to be careful whenever you have things like that. You know, don't send pictures of your face or, you know, tattoos or markings that are easily recognizable, because that can always come back and get you. And it's also illegal because it's basically porn. Anyway, so just be careful with that. But, you know, sending, you know, dirty texts or, you know, just fun things that, you know, telling the other person what you want to do to them later on, or that you miss them, or you're thinking about them, or, you know, how they make you feel. That's always a form of foreplay as well. And, you know, it could just be, you know, if you work together, if you go to school together, or, you know, wherever, if you're together during the day, you know, it could be a look in the hallway or across the room, or it could, you know, be just, you know, a brush of the shoulder in the, you know, whenever you're passing each other. It could pretty much just be anything. So I have a really great story for you guys to hear.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, you excited for that? Yeah, so it's going to be really cool. I have a couple of stories about foreplay from what, you know, students here at UCO go through and what they deal with and what they like. So let's take a listen.
He's kissing me and he's kissing my neck, and out of nowhere he like grabs me off the bed and he pushes me against the wall, and it's like with one arm he's grabbing me like on my back, down my back and my hips, and the other arm is like pressed against the wall, and he's like kissing my neck. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's making me feel right everywhere.
All right, so I just really like that story because I feel like it's very visual, and I feel like if you just like close your eyes, you could just literally be in the moment with that girl.
I feel like it totally captured the whole Kama Sutra quote that you gave out, like the whole affection and desire and lust, and yeah, definitely.
All right, well, I have one more for you guys to hear before we go to another break.
I think of it like a tease, where either the guy or the girl just comes up, like, say it's the girl. That's because I actually did this to one of my girlfriends. She's in the kitchen cooking, and she hadn't seen me all week. She had missed me. I came over to her house. She had no idea I was there. I kind of started whistling, letting her know I was there so I wouldn't scare her, because that would ruin the mood. Came up behind her, just grabbed her by the hips, and kind of started dancing with her a little bit, and slowly just loosening her apron, and then carrying her into the bedroom, like.
All right, so I like that one too because I feel like it's, you know, it's a guy's perspective, but, you know, it's just all about, you know, things to do to kind of get that mood started, because you can't just jump into it. Like, it's not fun, it's not, you know, cool, it's just, yeah.
Right, and note from that, guys, take note on that. Girls love it when a man initiates it as well. I know guys like it when a woman initiates it, but it's so hot for your woman. If you're the type to want to be the main pleaser, definitely initiate that.
Exactly. And, you know, and I just feel like, you know, whenever you kind of just, it's spur of the moment type thing, but, you know, you just know that they want you so bad that they're just wanting to, like, go for it. And I feel like that's totally hot.
Right, and not asking. Yeah. Not asking. Like, guys think that they always want to be like, can we do this? Don't ask, just do it. It makes it so much more steamy and fun and unexpected.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna play some Usher because it's my favorite, and then we'll be right back with some more stories. And we're back with your Afternoon Delight at U Central Radio. I'm your host, Aimee Reece, and we're gonna continue a little bit more about some foreplay. I have Portia with me in the studio today, and we're gonna listen to her foreplay story. Portia, what you got?
Okay, let me think which one. No, I'm just kidding. One time I had dated this football player for a long time, and I think foreplay is fun all the time, but especially when it's unexpected is the best, because birthdays, holidays, you know, they're kind of thinking that they're going to get something, but when it's totally unexpected, it makes it that much hotter. So one time, he had practice, and it was one of those things, like they had practice and they had study hall, so it was just a long, busy day. So I cooked dinner, I got a cute little maid outfit, and I had the candles lit, the rose petals, like did the whole thing, the strawberries and champagne. And then he came home, and I promise you his mood was that much better. Like I can guarantee you to this day, relationship or not, it was the best night of his life, just because like I'm not awesome. But that was probably one of the best surprises that I've gave someone else that was more for pleasing them, because I can be a little selfish at times, but I was pretty selfless then. So.
Yeah, definitely. I always feel like whenever, you know, you can please somebody else without them like having to please you back or whatever, like I just feel like, you know, give more, and then
I think it turns them on more too. When they don't even know that it's coming and they don't ask you and they don't initiate it, I think it makes it better for them. So sometimes you have to do for your man. I mean, you know, you have to do for your woman too, men out there, so don't get it twisted. But I think definitely as a woman, like you have to satisfy your man, especially because men love sex. Women love sex too, but stereotypically we know that men love sex.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I feel like it always, you know, you get something out of giving as well. You know, it's not just a one-way street, and you don't have to just, you know, you don't always have to just please him, but, you know, it can just kind of, just let it ride out, you know, depending on, you know, whatever happens, you know, whether it's a two-way street or if it's just a one-way street, you know, it's always going to be nice to either just have it all be about you, or, you know, have it all be about them, or, you know, both ways, or, you know.
Relationships are 50-50, so remember, you can't just want to give, or take, give and take. So definitely make sure that you do your part to please your man, and as men out there, like I said, do your part to please your woman, but don't be selfish and experiment, have fun, don't be afraid to do the whole costume and surprise, and be out there, like when you're in a relationship especially, because at the end of the day they're gonna love you regardless, no matter how it goes, but it's just more fun. Like I would definitely advise costumes, dressing up, being selfless, pleasing them, because at the end of the day I promise you they'll give it back to you.
Definitely. All right, well I have one last little story from a couple of students here at UCO about their foreplay favorites.
I don't necessarily have that many stories to tell, simply because I've been in very multiple long-term relationships, so I was able to get really, really, really comfortable with the person I was being intimate with. And honestly, I've come to the point where I've realized that there's nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong, with having foreplay where one is dominant than the other. Whether it's the man that's dominant or the woman that's dominant, there's nothing wrong with some BDSM.
We used handcuffs in our foreplay. I was very vulnerable. I let him dominate me, and it was the most awesome foreplay I've ever had in my entire life.
All right, well, I love their stories. I think that was just a different, you know, twist on it. They're just a little more, you know, out there. It's not just kind of general. Yeah, what do you think?
I think it was definitely fun to hear a different aspect. Me personally, I'm not into the whole like dominatrix thing. It freaks me out, and like we were talking about earlier, don't do anything that you aren't comfortable with, but at the same time I've never had a guy that's been into that either, so I mean, who knows what you'll do for love. So
yeah, exactly. And you know, I always feel like, you know, trying new things is definitely something to you know, try, I guess. You know, just kind of be out there. All right, well, we're going to be right back with some more Afternoon Delight after Deep Side. All right, it's Aimee Reece, and we're back with Afternoon Delight on U Central Radio. And earlier we were talking about foreplay with my good friend Portia, but now we're going to talk about some oral sex, which some kind of get the two confused, but, you know, foreplay doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, a sexual act. It can just be touching or a look or whatever. But oral sex is, you know, sex because it's called oral sex, and that's in the whole title. So right now I have one of the other radio DJs here at UCO. Buffalo, what's up?
How's it going?
Oh, you know, just hanging around, just having a good time. We're ready to talk about some oral sex.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, we're just going to talk about, you know, some tips and tricks, some stories if you have any, and also like why it's important and why it should.
Well, I definitely am pro oral sex.
Giving and getting, or
yes,
just
both. Don't be selfish.
Don't be selfish. That's, you know, good.
Yeah, don't be selfish. I mean, you gotta give a little to get a little. for the guys, but at the same time, I would definitely say that, you were saying that oral sex isn't, or foreplay isn't necessarily oral sex, but I would also say that oral sex can be a form of foreplay.
Right.
And like you were saying before, foreplay is very, very important. And I think that oral sex is definitely an extension of that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like definitely for, guys obviously like it, but I feel like it should be more for women because girls can have multiple orgasms during a sex session. So
It's true. And, I mean, I get tired.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of, if you need to take a break for a second and just like do something different or whatever, just always a good thing to fall back on without getting out of the mood.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you have any, tips or whatnot?
Tips. Oh gosh, you'll have to give me a song to think about that. Because
right.
I mean, I don't want to get a little bit too crazy or anything.
Right. Definitely. I mean, we got to keep it.
Exactly.
Keep it real in here, but not be vulgar.
Exactly. And I don't want to be vulgar. I want to be educated.
Yeah, because you know what? Education is key.
Education is key.
All right. Well, we're gonna play a song, and then we're gonna come right back to some tips and tricks and stories, and just some good stuff.
See, there's a whole lot of.
All right, we're back with Afternoon Delight. I'm your host, Aimee Reece, and I have Buffalo in the studio with me.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so we're going to talk about oral sex, and I am really interested in finding out your tips and tricks for, both girls and guys.
Right, and like I said, you got to kind of give a little to get a little, so here is me giving a little of insight.
Okay.
So I would definitely say for the guys, first things first, you got to preheat the oven before you bake the casserole. Okay.
That's perfect.
I mean, that's really all there is to it. Like you were saying before with foreplay, you got to get them ready. I think oral sex is an extension of that. So, I mean, kind of got to get down and dirty a little bit. Don't be afraid of it. Just go for it. And I would say to the girls on the same topic, if something feels wrong or there's something else that you want him to do, you can either tell him or try to kind of direct him a little bit and get him where he needs to be to maximize it.
Right.
Same thing for the guys. If a girl is performing oral sex for you and it's, I don't know, something feels a little different or you want a different sensation, then talk to them and direct them and help them out, maximize that pleasure.
Right, definitely. Yeah, that's really good. Those are some good tips. And I have some more students from UCO that have some more tips and what they like and don't like about oral sex.
Yes, I think that oral sex is it's really fun. It sets the mood, and I think it's just necessary to get the whole thing kicked off. I think for girls, when they're giving oral sex, I think that you should definitely use your hands as well, just because guys like that, and it gives them that stimulation. So I think that's a tip that I would give a girl. And I think for guys, I think the whole clitoral action is really good. Don't do the nibbling thing if you're a guy. Girls do not like that. I feel like a lot of guys think that girls like that, and that is a negative. Use your tongue.
The whole thing is that I think people don't understand is that the reason why it's so satisfaction that you get out of giving oral sex is just the idea of pleasing somebody without being pleased.
All right. Well, those are some really great tips on, but there's one thing that I always think that everyone needs to take into consideration is, protecting yourself. And, you can always wear a condom or, have birth control if you're actually having intercourse. But, with oral sex, some people don't know that you can still protect yourself even though, it's not really going inside your body.
Exactly. You can still get STDs from oral sex.
Exactly. And I looked up some really fun things to use to kind of protect yourself. Trustex, the condom brand, they have an assorted flavor box of condoms, and it comes in banana, strawberry, wine grape, chocolate, vanilla, mint, cola, and strawberry. And actually when looking at this on their website, I found something called dental dams, And I didn't know
dental
what that...
dams?
Yeah, dental dams. And I didn't know what it was at first, but I guess it was a real thing. I kind of laughed about it, and then I was like, oh, wait.
Okay, what is it?
All right, well, it's a small sheet of latex, which acts as a barrier between the vagina and the mouth. And so that way, it's like a...
So it's like a mouth condom.
Basically is what it is. It's a mouth condom.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, but they come in flavors, and I was reading through some of like the reviews about them, and they said that it has a really nice sensation. So,
do the flavors like actually taste like them, or does it actually just like, oh well, I guess I could kind of see that.
I haven't ever tried them before, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
I didn't see anything on the reviews saying that the flavors were off or whatever. But
interesting.
Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna be right back with your sexual position of the week as soon as we play another song. All right, Aimee, Reece, we're back with Afternoon Delight. Sorry, Cameron, I just cut you off. I'm sorry. He wanted to say it. You can
I really wanted to say it.
Go ahead and say it now.
You're back with Afternoon Delight with Aimee Reece.
All right.
I've always wanted to say it. Okay.
I mean, I know you have. You've said it every time I'm ever in here. You always say that you want to say it for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're through with foreplay, done with oral sex, and now we're on to the sexual position of the week, and I feel like it's a really good one.
Yeah, I'm actually really scared because I'm not very flexible.
I mean, I don't feel like you need to be that flexible for this one. It's kind of not basic, but it's not too outrageous.
Okay.
But it's called The Goat in the Tree.
The Goat in the Tree.
Yes.
Well, I can say this. I am not having sex with a goat in a tree.
Well, I'm glad because that's totally illegal. All right.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, okay, good.
It is, in fact, illegal. All right. So here's the description of the position. It's in this sitting position, the woman straddles the man's lap while he is seated on a chair. To sustain the position, the man should sit in a chair with back support. His hands are free to fondle his lover's breast and clitoris, or she could do the same for herself. The woman should brace her feet on the floor in order to move up and down on her partner's penis, and the lovers can either be face to face or the woman can be away from him.
So I'm going to be sitting on a chair.
Right.
And my woman is going to be on top of me.
Right.
And her feet are going to be firmly planted on the ground so that she can kind of thrust and whatnot, right?
Right.
So this sounds like a position you should not wear with silky lingerie.
Definitely not. And maybe, be barefoot so you don't slip and fall or something bad.
I don't know.
happens.
I feel like maybe you should be wearing socks because socks add more traction.
Well, I mean, you don't want to have rug burn, so you gotta just protect your feet, I guess. All right, well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in, and thanks for Portia and Cameron for being, Buffalo. I used your real name, my bad. I'm so sorry. I always call you Cameron, whatever. All right, well, thanks for Portia.
My secret identity has been revealed.
Oh, gosh. And Buffalo for being here today, and thank you guys for tuning in. And, come back next week at Thursday, around 2 o'clock. We never make it here on time, but around 2 o'clock. And we'll be back with some more sex talk. Have a great weekend.
It's Afternoon Delight with Aimee Reece.